We gonna praise the Lord anyway. Hey guys, thank you for clicking on my first YouTube video where we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a freshman on campus during unprecedented times. And you know what I mean when I say that. This is a pretty relevant topic with the times we're living in right now. So I thought, you know what, there's probably people out there who are doing class online or their schools are shut down for the year, and they probably are curious as to how other schools who are having their students learn on campus, how they're doing things, and how it's different from maybe like the normal routine of the college lifestyle. So let's get started. Back up. Before we get started, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. Even share if you think this is good information for somebody else out there that you know. That would really help me a lot, as this is my first video, so just please. So a little bit about me before we get into it. I am a college freshman and I attend Baylor University in Waco, Texas. It's been the best experience ever, even with everything going on. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. I'm actually from California, and so most, if not all, of the schools over there are shut down, and so I'm just blessed and grateful to be on campus right now. The timing of this is actually quite great because I'm in my dorm room, not because I want to be, but because I'm actually quarantining right now due to contact tracing. So isn't it great? Like, this is my second time around. This is my second time doing this. The first time I did it was last semester, so I already know how this goes, and I'm just hoping to see this as an opportunity to get closer to God and to build my relationship with Him, because I have so much time to do it now, and I can film this video, which I've been meaning to do for a while. You know, they bring me food. I'm good, okay? Something I want to mention before I start is that this is my personal experience. Like, this is everything that I've seen in my perspective of things. Things are very different for each individual person, and so when I speak, I'm speaking off of what I've seen in the general aspect. But definitely experiences and perspectives are different for everyone. My experience may not be accurate to somebody else's, so I just want to get that out there, because the one thing I've learned about YouTube is you always have to have a disclaimer in your video. Okay, so that's mine. So let's get started. So the first thing that I think is worth mentioning are the major rules and restrictions and procedures that have been implemented on this campus that we have to live by while we're here. The number one rule is that you must wear a mask indoors in probably most, if not all, buildings. That is a non-negotiable. That's pretty much the biggest rule there is. When you're outside, you don't have to wear a mask unless you are unable to maintain social distancing between you and another person. It's basically where you stand 6 feet or farther away from someone. Let me tell you something, guys, before I even continue. These walls are so paper thin, it drives me insane. Just letting you know. So the one thing that they've implemented this semester that they didn't implement last semester was that it is actually mandatory for students and I think faculty and staff to get weekly tests. For what they did before we got back on the campus, they sent us a day and a time period and a specific testing site for us to go every week to get tested for. And that's where you would find out if you're positive or negative that week. That has been a big change. I'll actually insert a picture like right here or something where it basically shows you just the whole procedure of how that was gonna work. It also gives some information on what would happen if you failed to test within a week or multiple times, so multiple weeks. The more you miss, the worse the punishments become. I personally think it's quite excessive, especially there's one that's like they'll shut down your Wi-Fi if you miss, like, I think it's 3 tests. I'm just like, I'm paying bro. So at that point, you just gotta comply unless you just don't want Wi-Fi for the rest of the year. That's basically become a part of our weekly routine. Is we go to a testing site, we get tested, and then we just hope we're negative. So in most of the rooms and enclosed spaces around campus, they now have a limited capacity as to how many people can be in that room at one time. The main example would be the elevator. Instead of like being able to cram as many people as you can into an elevator, they'll have a sign next to the elevator that basically shows like how many people you can have in the elevator at one time, and it's usually like 2 or 4 at a time, so that's different. And then just in some of the rooms around campus and some of the major buildings, they definitely will have a sign that basically shows how many people can be in the room at one time, so that's different as well. So if you know me, you know that this is my favorite addition to the lifestyle we are living here on campus during this time, and that is that we have what I like to call mask police. And so you will see them around. They're wearing bright green shirts. There are also other names out there for them that I am not going to say in this video. They will walk around making sure that you have your mask on and that you're socially distanced, and they'll come up to you and say put your mask on, or they'll say you need to spread out or something like that. It can get a little bit frustrating. For example, right, when you're walking outside, you don't have to have a mask on if you're walking just by yourself, and some of these people will come up to you talking about you need to have your mask on, and I'm like, do you not know your own rules? And so it gets frustrating because it's like you would think they'd know their own rules. I try and stay as far away from them as I possibly can because I am just not trying to deal with them, and they are not gonna ruin my day. Now, people are probably wondering what happens when you test, like your weekly test, for example, and you get a positive result. At that point, you're immediately, within the next few hours, moved to a nearby hotel. So you'll stay in that hotel for 10 days. They'll give you food. The reason I know this is because I know a few people who have tested positive, and they would tell me some of the features and stuff that they experience while they're there. They'll give you a whole list of food and drinks to choose from that you can order, I think, at any time. You have a whole hotel room to yourself for 10 days. You have to wait it out until the 10 days are over. You're not allowed to leave at any point. They'll make sure you don't because they'll have guards, I think, standing outside just making sure you don't leave. I've yet to experience that, but probably when this video come out, I probably will have to, because jinxing is definitely in my blood, so can't wait. What I'm experiencing right now is isolation due to contact tracing, which means I was in contact with somebody who tested positive, which means I have to isolate in my dorm room for 10 days, and I'm not really allowed to leave unless I have to shower, go to the bathroom, you know, the essential stuff. They deliver food to your dorms, and like they're pretty accommodating. If you need something, they have people who do your laundry as well and stuff like that, but I'm basically not allowed to leave, so I'm okay with it. This is my second time around. Seems like I basically mentally prepared myself for this. So I'm on day 4 right now, and so I have 6 more days to go. Please pray for me that I get through this. I definitely see this as an opportunity this time around to just spend that time that I would be doing something else and spend it in the Word and spend it getting closer to God. So I'm really blessed to be using that time for that. I'll actually post a picture of an email you'll get when you are ordered to isolate in your room for 10 days. This is the email I got both this time around and then the first time I did it. It's a good time. It's a good time, guys. So next we're gonna talk about dorm life and the dorm situation here on campus. From my perspective, it seems pretty standard. It doesn't seem like much would change if we were in a normal circumstance. I mean, for me, in a normal circumstance, I wouldn't be spending much time in my dorm. I'm out here, there, where, like, I'm not in my dorm. That's the last place I'll be. In the main lobby or like in the hallways or stuff like that. Basically, if you're traveling from one place to another, you have to have your mask on. In terms of like dorm bonding and dorm like events and stuff, those are still going on in my dorm as well as the other dorms around campus. I don't go to any of them. I just don't. With that, it's either on Zoom or it's to a limited capacity in one of the classrooms in our dorm. It's very modified and limited as to like what can be done and how many people can attend. My dorm situation, personally, I don't have a roommate. I did the first semester, but she moved out. I'm chilling. Like, I actually like it a lot. I can't speak to the roommate situation that much because I didn't really have a lot of time to deal with it and experience it. I have 2 beds here, and so I just use the other bed for like things that I'm working on and projects that I'm doing. And I also put my flags up, so but we ain't gonna talk about that. So one of the main changes that have happened during this time is the way that classes and academics work. There are 3 main methods as to how classes function on campus, and that is through online, fully on Zoom, hybrid, which is a mixture of in-person and online, and then fully in person. And so I have all 3 this semester, and I did last semester as well, and then I'll get into a little bit about how each one works. So with in-person classes, it is exactly how it sounds. accounts. You basically go to class like a traditional class setting, and you go, you learn, and you get out, and that's it. So it's fully face-to-face. And so I have like 1 or 2 classes like that where to be counted for attendance, you have to go to class. Hybrid classes work in a few different ways. There's one way where they will split the class into halves, and one half will come on this specific day and another half will come on this specific day throughout the week, and then that's their instruction for the week. There's also one of the assigned days you'll have your class in person, and then one of the assigned days the whole class will have their class online. There's other ways as well, but I can't think of them right now. It works in so many different ways. Online is exactly how it sounds. It's done through Zoom. We don't ever meet up in person to have instruction, and it's just all done through Zoom, which is one of my favorite classes because while they're talking, I can do something else that actually is productive for me to do. Let's say you like test positive or you have to isolate yourself due to contact tracing. My school at least has been very accommodating to those who have those issues and are in those circumstances. They've actually been pretty adaptable to that. And like for the in-person classes, there's an option for those who are isolated or positive to attend class through Zoom while class is in session in person as well. And so they have been really accommodating to things like that, and they have adapted quite well. If you're not positive or if you're not isolating yourself, you have to attend the class in person. I'll get into this a little bit in my next topic, but when it comes to making friends in your classes, it's definitely been a lot harder. If you don't have in-person classes and you have just like online classes or hybrid classes, like it becomes a lot harder to like talk to these people and make friends with them. That's kind of been a bummer because I'm a business major. I want to collab with people who have those same interests and have those same goals, but it's become a lot harder. So hopefully when this is all over, I'll be able to meet more people in my classes, but right now it's very limited and it kind of sucks. So this is probably going to be my favorite topic to talk about because I just was so successful in doing this, and that is making friends. As I said previously, it has become significantly harder to make friends during this time because a lot of things have been restricted, limited, or canceled, including events, club meetings, and just like the overall aspect of class and the structure of that. Everything has become altered or modified or canceled in some type of way, which makes it a lot harder to make friends. I knew that was gonna happen, and I'm gonna share my personal way of making friends because I just was so successful. I have so many friends, you know what I mean? So in this case, social media becomes your best friend. Like, it has helped me so much. Basically, right, there was this account. It was basically a space for incoming college freshmen to post and advertise themselves and who they are and what they like to do on that Instagram account. And so it was the main hub where people who were incoming freshmen could make friends and find people that they get along with. And so I posted myself. I'll probably put a picture right here of like my caption and like the headshot I sent. So you would send a headshot and a caption of who you are, your hobbies, your vibe, things you like to do and people you like to be around, whatever you want to put. You would send that to the account owners. They would post it on the account, and basically through there you could find your friends. And so I did that. People found me, people like kind of knew who I was from that, and I gained a lot of new followers. Now, all those followers did not become my friends. People would DM me talking about, hey, I saw your Instagram post, just introducing themselves and everything, because everyone's trying to make new friends, everyone's just trying to reach out. And so I'd get a lot of that. I would also do that back to a lot of people. Once they started to get to know who I was and like what I stood for and stuff, which is completely different from a lot of the mainstream popular beliefs out there. A lot of them like kind of dispersed, you know, didn't want to be my friend anymore, which was fine. Like, I knew that was gonna happen, and I knew a lot of the people who were coming to me, once they knew who I was, they were like, okay, we're never mind. I knew that was gonna happen. But basically what I did with the new followers I gained was I went on Instagram accounts that I followed that were people or organizations or basically anything that had to do with anything that I was interested in, beliefs I had, and I would see who I followed, who followed those same accounts that I believed in. For example, Candace Owens, who is my, oh my gosh, gosh, please adopt me. Like, I would look at that and look at other people, Christian accounts as well, and just see like who I followed that followed those same people, and I would reach out to them. And so I reached out to a lot of people, and through that I've gained the friends I have today, and I could not be more blessed and proud of just the friends I've made and how genuine they are and how encouraging they are as well. The fruitful energy that I get from these people is just unlike any other, and I'm so blessed to call those people my friends. So that's how I did it. The traditional way obviously didn't work. I just was intentional about it, and even now, in order to keep those friends, you obviously have to make an effort to talk to them, to hang out with them, but also understand like everyone's busy, and so that's also a mutual understanding. But I'm just so blessed with the friends I have, and I prayed, let me tell you something, I prayed to God about having friends. So I'm coming here just ready for a fresh new start. I just was blessed with more than I can ask for, and they know who they are, so shout out to you. I love you guys. So basically, I say that to say that social media is your best friend in this case. Look at different organizations or people or things that you look up to and you're inspired by and you're interested in and you believe in, and look through the mutual followers and see who you follow that follows those same people and same organizations, and strike up a conversation about that, especially if it's something that's very important to you. You could really build a great bond through doing something like that. So just a strategy to keep in mind. So basically the activities, recreation, and events have been limited this entire year, either where they are not happening or they're just modified in a way that is socially distanced. So it was really impactful to the incoming class this year because there were a lot of freshman events and a lot of freshman first-time experiences that we didn't get to have. For example, Baylor does a line camp where basically you go to campus from wherever you're from and you travel to the campus, and you're with a group for a day or a few days, and you guys get to just bond and do special activities and stuff like that. And so I didn't get to do that. In fact, our line camp was through Zoom, and so we would meet for a few hours for 2 or 3 days and just get to know each other, and that was it, and do the activities from our house. Definitely not the same. In fact, when I talked to people who had gone through line camp in the past, they were like, it is the best experience ever. And man, like other events like homecoming and welcome week were modified by a lot. Homecoming happened for the most part virtually, and then we had one thing in the stadium where we just got to socially distance in groups and just watch. The main recreation center on campus is pretty much open. You have to just do everything that you would normally do with a mask on. You can go to the gym, you can rock climb, you can swim, I think. I'm pretty sure you could swim. Everything that you could have done normally, you could still do. You just have to wear a mask as well as take extra precaution, especially in the gym. It's nice that that's open because we are paying student fees, so you would think that they'd keep that open. So it's good that they are. We also have a marina on like the other side of our campus where you can paddleboard, you can kayak, and all of these things. And so I got to do that the first few weeks of the semester last year, and it was great. I loved it. Like I said, most traditional events were canceled this first semester, moved to an online setting, and so it was kind of sad that that was the way it had to be. This semester they're gonna try and do as much as they can in person, especially with the increased restrictions and procedures that are put in place in order to keep us safe. Hopefully that gets fulfilled. So with churches, so my school, Baylor University, if you know, is a Baptist school. It's a Christian school. For those who like want that Christian aspect, there are a lot of churches within the area that you can attend and you can become a member of. So the churches that are around, they are meeting in person this semester, and they were last semester as well. You have to enter with a mask. The church I go to, you have to register so that they keep track of how many people are entering the building. And once you get to your seat and stuff, you can kind of do whatever you please. But they do have an announcement where basically they advise that you follow your institution's requirements when it comes to mask wearing and stuff like that. We go and praise the Lord anyway. Churches are pretty much operating as normal. You can meet people, you can congregate, you can join your life group. A life group is basically a small group within the church that you meet with every week outside of church, go through life together. So that's still a thing. And just you can be in community under Christ like you would in any other setting. I love the church I go to so much. I can't wait to go back when my isolation's over. Gosh. Ooh. Anyway, also, if you're unable to attend in person, every church around has an online live stream that you can attend as well, so you'll never miss out on anything. So that's always an option as well. So I'm briefly gonna mention the football games because I know when I was coming to college, that was something I was really looking forward to, especially coming from a high school where we had no high school sports. There was a limited amount of people that can attend each football game, and how they did that was you would enter a queue where basically you were selected randomly to attend the football game. So it was like a lottery. And so you were either able to attend or you couldn't attend because you didn't win a spot. They held the stadium to a 25% capacity. And even then, like, they had everyone distance themselves. If you came in a group, you were allowed to sit with your group. You were separated from the other group by a few feet. And so obviously things weren't the same. Stadiums weren't filled. The stadium wasn't rowdy as it could be anyway. So with the one game I went to, I had a lot of fun. And I loved my outfit. I put a picture. Isn't it cute? Anyway, so I had a good time, but it obviously wasn't the same. Hopefully next year I'll get to experience a true football game. Also, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but also my school does something very, very special. The freshmen at the time run in a Baylor line. We're all wearing bright yellow jerseys, and we would run the stadium before the game starts. And this is at every home football game, except for the last one where the seniors got to run. But we would run across the stadium, and so it would be a big bright yellow wave of people running. And it's a very special traditional experience for our school in particular. And so if you wanted to do that, not only did you have to be accepted to attend the game, but there was also a separate queue where you were accepted to run the line as well. So the line was obviously very small this year. The line was not the same. I never got to run the line. I do have a line jersey though. Hopefully I'll get to use it my senior year because I don't think they'll let us run next year. It's fun to watch, and I even got emotional watching, like, cause it was like, wow, I'm really in this. But they did the best they could. In all of these, they did the best they could. You know, the fact that we're even here and getting to attend school in person like this, that says a lot, because I really could be in my bed crying my eyes out. I'm going to give my freshman experience so far a 7.015 out of 10, and I will tell you why. Overall, I'm satisfied with my experience. I've made so many new friends. I have been able to live life as normal as I possibly can. So I've been trying to see the good throughout all of this and just making life what I can instead of just focusing on the restrictions and things I'm missing out on. And so focusing on that has been very helpful for me to just keep my mindset right and just keeping it positive. You know, sometimes I ask people who've been here longer, upperclassmen, how the experience was before. And they would tell me, yo, it was so fun, and we did this and that, and there's so much going on. And so, you know, when I do that, I'm literally causing myself pain because it's like, wow, I'm really missing out. But I also think my experience is my experience, and like, you know, it's not the same, but it's also my own. I would say it's not a 10 out of 10 because obviously I'm missing out on pretty significant, exciting experiences and traditions that I would have experienced otherwise, like line camp, like running the line, like homecoming, like a regular football game, amongst many other things. Obviously, like, that doesn't help the experience, but hopefully soon enough we will get to experience it to the fullest, and I can't wait for the day where we get to do that. Another thing that doesn't make it a 10 out of 10 is the excessive rules, procedures, and regulations and restrictions put in place. I think they're very, very excessive, and I do not agree with it at all. The branch off of that is the inconsistency with a lot of the rules set in place. For example, if you're negative, you're allowed to have guests in your room, and obviously in your dorm room you can have your mask off. And so if you have a guest and you guys are in the room together, mask off, laughing it up in an enclosed space, that's that, right? And you go outside and you're with that same person, you have to put your mask on. And I'm like, that, to me, that is just so backwards. Especially applies with roommates. Like, you're sleeping in the same room with somebody, mask off, everything, But if you're out with that same person outside in the open air, it's so fresh, everything's open, you have to have a mask on with them outside. And it's just like we were just in an enclosed room together, talking it up, sleeping, whatever. It really bothers me. Also, the extreme punishments for failing the test. I don't think the punishment should be this bad. Shutting off your Wi-Fi for missing tests. That sounds a little bit extreme in my opinion. Overall though, I will say that I am so blessed at the end of the day and that I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. The freedom I get still here is unlike any other, and maybe that's because I come from a high school that's quite interesting, to say the least. That's another story for another day, but like the freedom I get here is unlike any other, and I love it so much. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and I'm just so excited to see what next year brings. Like if this is my experience this year with everything going on, I can only imagine what it's like during a normal setting, and I just can't wait to experience it. But anyway, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to see more. Also, if you like, you could follow my Instagram, which will be posted right in front of my face, right here. So that's my Instagram. If you want to give it a follow, want to see more of like behind the scenes, go up in there and you'll find something. If there's anything at all that I missed that you have questions about that involves being a freshman here in person on campus, leave it down below and I'll answer, because I probably missed so much stuff. Yeah, just definitely leave it down below if you have any more questions or if there's anything I missed on that. But other than that, it's a wrap. See you guys later.